everyone, I just want to give you a quick warning. If you're into sort of the Smash character discussion community or anything like that, recently Master Sakurai put out a tweet saying, hey guys, I'm going to be working from home now, because Japan's recently started having its lockdown because of coronavirus. And so I presume that it's not just him, that it's a bunch of other employees that are working on the game as well that have started to work from home. Now, that's not what I'm warning you about. I'm warning you guys about the potential avalanche of fake leaks that we're gonna get by a bunch of people taking advantage of the situation and trying to get attention. And we all know Zoom isn't the most secure app out there. I mean, given how many news stories there are of governments and some private companies banning its usage over security concerns. And I mean, yeah, I assume that given Smash Brothers how much secrecy there is, that they're going to be using a more well-protected video conferencing application. But even if everybody locks down their computers and only uses Tor in a virtual machine and uses encryption and uses a VPN, the fact that they're all no longer in one place where no information can really get out, now that they're all in their homes, that raises up the actual risk of a real leak by a lot. I mean, I assume that a lot of these developers are cohabitating with girlfriends or husbands or spouses or even kids. So just the fact that there's other people that can be exposed to what they're working on without necessarily understanding how important it is to not say anything about what they're working on pretty much raises the risk up way, way more. Especially if somebody takes a picture of them while they're working and then some new character gets leaked and the 10 by 10 pixels of this one image taken from far away. That's not going to be looking good for anybody. Now, while I do think that the actual risk of a real leak is probably pretty likely while this is all happening, I wouldn't be surprised if it got buried under a bunch of fake leaks. Much like on 4chan, how there's tons and tons of text posts, and the real leaks are only found after the fact, after people go digging. And those threads usually never get any replies. And yeah, I know there's probably going to be a bunch of fake images and blurry photos and a bunch of text posts from all supposed development team staff or whatever. And you know what? I'll bet when this fake leak does pop up inevitably, that it's going to be a video conference call. And just because that it's a brand new thing that we've never seen before. All that other stuff I mentioned previously, yeah, we've seen that a ton before. There's nothing special about it. But making a video conference call of developers talking about specific details is something we haven't really seen before. And so that new and exciting X factor, I think, is probably what people are going to go to first when they think about leak during a quarantine. Now, I'm not going to believe any of this shit anyways, but I'm actually going to give some pointers to any people who want to make a fake leak or are planning them right now. I'll give you some pointers as to make something a little bit more credible and believable, at least in the Western fandom. Okay, this is not necessary, but I think if you want to really blow any other sort of vanilla, run-of-the-mill fake leak out of the water, I really highly suggest doing this first thing. I think you need to have at least one Japanese, native speaker or, person who is Japanese in the conference call. Because if you really want to convince people even the slightest, having, two white dudes say they're from Nintendo America, yeah, people are gonna see through that shit really quick. I mean, at least putting Japanese people in it, at least, logically makes some kind of sense, right? That, there are more Japanese development staff than there are localizers. But to me, it's a little questionable, though, that the Smash fan base in Japan would participate in this, considering that there hasn't really been, at least as far as I'm aware, any fake leaks, or at least big ones, that have come out of Japan, outside of, text posts or something. I'm actually not entirely sure if tricking the Smash fan base with fake leaks is quite a part of like the Japanese side of the fandom, as prevalent as it is in the Western side of the fandom. Like, Western side, we do it all the time. I'm not quite as sure Japan's really into that, but I don't know. I mean, Japan, though, is like a tier above when it comes to memery and trolling in general, so. And I think the other thing that you have to do is, obviously people are gonna translate it, so you gotta like make sure that what they're saying is at least like a little bit credible to what an actual developer in the situation would talk like. Make it seem like these are actual developers actually talking like there is a risk of exposure. So if I were to make something like this, I would refer to everything by their code name, right? We've seen code names for characters in the actual Smash Ultimate game data itself. So referring to everything by a code name that is vague enough that it doesn't like specifically say X character or X stage, but leaves things open enough to interpretation that people are gonna go wild with looking at this video and trying to figure out which character it is, but not outright give it away to make it less believable. Like, that's at least how I would do it. Now, given how lazy fake leaks have gotten since the Grinch leak with stuff like insider knowledge and a bunch of 4chan text posts that people randomly latch onto for no reason, that I wouldn't be surprised that when this does happen, it's gonna be half-assed and not follow any of my pointers. But you know what? Given how skeptical the Smash community has become, I thought still that there was gonna be interesting and creative fake leaks that would persist. It's just people wouldn't believe them. But it turns out that that whole sort of subculture has pretty much just died off entirely. I mean, it makes sense, right? Why would you spend tens and tens of hours working on a really good fake leak when, you know, there's not going to be that many more people that are likely to believe it than something like a 4chan text post or claiming you're an insider, which is way less effort. I mean, how can you expect fake leaks to thrive in an environment where people like me and many others still doubt the legitimacy of the Cacodemon Mallow Mihawk costume leak, when it's probably, to be frankly honest with you, the closest thing we've had to an actual, like, real leak that has happened since the game has launched. But given that we're all stuck in quarantine, sitting in our houses and apartments doing absolutely nothing, it isn't impossible for a fake leak like this to potentially surpass the Grinch leak as the greatest fake leak of all time. I mean, expecting nothing less than amazing effort put into this is really a disservice to the amount of time that we all have now. So anyways, guys, that's it for the video. Yeah, I had this idea. I was talking to people on Smashboards about the potential for this idea, and so it kind of led me to do this video. And I wanted to sort of give people a little heads up that just because that the format that we see this is new, doesn't make it any more likely to be real. So anyways, guys, that's it, and have a good day.